Hi Brian, my name is Emily.
Hi.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm glad you're here today.
Thanks.
Yeah, I wanted to go over before we get started in this session and let you know kind of what to expect and go over confidentiality with you. So we'll start with that, and then throughout the session I might ask some clarifying questions or ask you to elaborate just so that I can get a good idea of what you're experiencing currently.
Okay.
So I want you to know that everything that you say to me will remain confidential within the agency unless you give me written permission to share the information with someone else. There are a few exceptions to that regarding confidentiality. First, I'm a mandated reporter, which means that if there is or has been any suspicion of physical, emotional, or sexual abuse of a child, elderly person, or incapacitated adult, I'm required by law to report that information to proper authorities. Also, if you tell me something that indicates that you are in danger of harming yourself or someone else, I'm required to take appropriate steps to ensure the safety of those involved. Do you have any questions about confidentiality?
No, I think I got it.
Okay, so why don't you tell me what brought you in here today?
My wife, basically. Her drinking is kind of out of control and has been for a while. I'm thinking she's an alcoholic. I don't know. It's seems pretty evident to me.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you're a little overwhelmed with maybe discovering that her drinking has moved beyond normal drinking conditions and into alcoholism.
Yeah, she is she's one that's basically everyday drinker. Somebody that doesn't seem to be able to function without drinking. If it seems like she's going to have to, she disappears for a while, comes back in a much better mood. Obviously, has been drinking, or if she hasn't been drinking, she gets very irritable, not wanting to do anything. So it's just taking quite a toll on us.
So if you could tell me some feelings, what would those feelings be about? What's going on?
Alone,
Okay.
Angry, and hurt would probably be the best way to explain it.
Okay.
Very lonely being married to somebody that I think is an alcoholic, because you're kind of left doing everything on your own. There's nobody sharing in the pain of what's going on, because she gets to kind of unplug. And all the lying. I mean, that's hurtful in and of itself. Just constant. It's like a second life that she leads.
Okay. So it seems like you're feeling very hurt and alone because of her drinking and maybe frustrated at the selfishness that is within that disease and isolated. And
yeah.
Are you feeling resentment towards her, and is that leading into fighting?
Yeah. It's like I constantly have these things going on in my head as to what she's going to do or what she has done, or I already know how she's going to react. And, I mean, whether she does or not, I'm already mad about it, because I mean, I'm right 90% of the time. The other 10 I'm mad anyway, because I think I know what's going on.
Yeah. So what I hear you say is ultimately your marriage is in a really tough spot because you have all of these emotions that you aren't able to express to her, and also not being able to control her drinking and being really preoccupied with her behaviors, so much so that it's affecting other areas of your life.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely affecting other areas.
Okay. Yeah. So is this the first time you've ever experienced anyone with alcoholism?
No, I grew up with a alcoholic father.
Okay.
So, who was out of control most of my younger years. And it's almost like I took the place that my mom took with him.
With your wife?
Yeah, with my wife, because just trying, she did the same things, and it didn't work. I don't know why I would think it would work, but I don't know what else to do. That's the only thing I know to do, and that doesn't work, so.
Okay. So what are some coping skills that have been working for you? Is there anything that has helped you?
When we've separated one time, that worked eventually. It wasn't good at first because I just spent my time wondering what she was doing and what was gonna happen.
Mhm.
But then it was actually kind of freeing, because it was like I had gotten rid of the big kid.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to take care of somebody all the time. So, hate to say it, but separating myself.
Yeah. It sounds like you feel very torn between taking care of yourself and then also taking care of her, because if you're not taking care of her, who would
It
take
is,
care of
right,
her?
yeah.
Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so we're running out of time. I'd like to go ahead and summarize our session here. To recap what you've gone over is you felt very frustrated and isolated and frustrated that your wife continues to drink despite the toll that it's taking on you and your relationship with her.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Al-Anon?
I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
Okay, so Al-Anon is like AA. It's a 12-step meeting. It is anonymous, and it really is beneficial for people who are in relationships with alcoholics or drug addicts. And what it does is the focus becomes on you, and you will start to find solutions that will work where you're not trying to fix her, but you're focusing on how you're reacting to her. And it can be very helpful in relieving some of the stress and the frustration. So what I want you to do between now and the next time we meet is make it to an Al-Anon meeting, and then when you come back you can give me some feedback on how you felt. Know that in these meetings you're not required to talk. You could just sit and listen and hear the stories, and hopefully it will be able to give you some hope that your situation isn't hopeless, and that you can make some really good changes and find some happiness.
Okay, how do I find those?
Well, I'll give you a meeting list on our way out.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, well, I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you came.
Thanks.
All right, have a nice week.
Thanks.
You're welcome.